Hi, we are going to go over the communication systems notes so that you have them all. Please watch this first before you go and do the exam review. I am going to withhold the answer key from the website today so that you have to try it on your own using your notes and your brain to see if you can make some sense of what's going on. You have most of this information. I just want to show you how it all fits together. So if you would please let us take a look at the communication systems. I started this a minute ago and unfortunately my pen ran out. So let's see here. And you know what? I think I'm going to do it this way so that we have a better shot at what's going on. All right, so this is communication systems. And this may turn into a giant poster in the classroom for you guys to reference over time. All right, ignore that right there. Our communication systems have specific parts. The very first thing being the source of the message. So we are always going to start with the source. And that is going to then go to the encoder. All right, the source of the message is where the message starts. Okay, so where the message is coming from, what is generating the message? Encoder is basically writing the message. And this can be in several different formats. From there, the encoder is going to send the message through the transmitter. Oh, sorry, let me keep my handwriting in check. So the transmitter is what sends the message. All right, now there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens in here where you have this transmission, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But what I want to talk about next is the receiver. Okay, and the receiver actually gets the message, or receives the message. From there, it sends it to the decoder. So the decoder, and the decoder is going to read the message. All right, and finally from there, from the decoder, the message can be read and it's going to go to the destination. All right, and the destination is where the message should go. Or that's who the source, or what the source is trying to communicate with. Now, from the destination, there are oftentimes other places to go. And this is something that we didn't have a chance to talk about. One of those places can be a storage place. So you can go, oops, I'm sorry, I don't mean to put my elbow over that. You can go to a storage location. All right, and storage locations keep the message. And in order for that to work out, there has to be some sort of retrieval. Sorry, I'm writing over that. Okay. You need to have some kind of a retrieval system. And that is going back to pick up the message later. Okay? Now, that's the basic parts of the system. This is concept 26 on your standards. All right, and this is the parts. Now, if you take a look here at encoding and decoding, there is another thing that we want to talk about inside of this, and that is the format. Okay, and the format can be either analog or digital. Oops. So that's in. All right, and you are encoding or decoding from analog to digital, or leaving it as analog and sending it along as analog. Right now I'm sending you an analog signal, and you're picking it up as an analog signal as well, both with your eyes and your ears. The transmission is going as analog. Now, if we were doing something else where we were actually turning I guess my voice is probably being turned into different bits of data. So as I am being recorded, all of this stuff is changing into a digital signal so that my voice turns into zeros and ones in binary code, and all of the different tones are recorded, and it can be sent into my computer and stored there until I need to retrieve it later. So the format, analog and digital, that is actually concept 28 in your system, and that is the way that messages are stored. We have a transmission medium here, and this is really hard. So we want to talk about this and how messages are transmitted. And there's a whole bunch of things in here. You can transmit messages in the air. You can transmit messages on wires. You can transmit messages on fiber optic cables, or you can transmit messages as electromagnetic waves, so wirelessly through space. Okay, and these are all different types of transmission systems. So these are our transmission mediums. And how do we transmit information? All right, this is concept 27. All right, so we have 28, 27, 26. We are getting there. Let's see here. The way that we transmit information through the air, we have a bunch of different stuff. We have sound and light. That's what we see. Sorry, that says C. And also, electromagnetic waves can travel through the air. All right. Examples of that, concept 29, is actually different applications. So, concept 29, applications of all of these different systems. With sound, the way that we apply air transmissions, we can hear sound, we can see light. Okay, those are all different applications of it. We also, transmit a lot of electromagnetic energy through the air. We carry our cell phone waves and all of those fun things. The next one, with wires, we send electronic signals. All right, you can only send electricity on wires. Applications of that would be cable internet. Okay, so if you're stuck with the cable internet, or you have headphones that are not wireless, or you have any of your wired telephones, which I don't know that anyone even has those anymore. But we had a whole bunch of examples on episode 7 that had great different examples for wired communication systems. And that's anytime you send information over a wire, it is an electronic signal that is going through a wire in order to reach its destination. Okay, fiber optics are super fancy, and we're getting more familiar with those as Fios becomes more readily available. But what you send over fiber optic cables is light signals. And there's lots of advantages to that. You get really fast internet. And that is where we are seeing it applied a lot, is fiber optic communication, telecommunication systems. So fiber optic cable, downloading your videos is much faster. This can all come into your house on a modem, and then the modem can be wireless and you can connect all of your devices to it. So that is one way that fiber optic technology is being applied nowadays. And finally, space. These are all wireless devices. They use electromagnetic waves. And I know some of you are struggling with that word, electromagnetic waves. And we remember that as radio, microwaves, infrared, and light. So plain old light. And now with radio waves, we can pick up FM stations, so car radios. Microwaves would be things like Wi-Fi or cell phones. Infrared are remotes. And light, of course, we can still see, all right, but that can go through space. That's the big thing here, is what can be transmitted into space. So that's where our satellite telecommunication systems become so powerful. We can immediately communicate with people on the other side of the world. It goes really fast because all of these things travel at the speed of light. So they're very fast, and we don't have to wait at all in order for those communication systems to work out. So this is pretty much everything that we were supposed to learn about communication systems and how they work, how the information flows through them. Now what we need to do is take these ideas and apply it to our exam corrections. So I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to go and put it in a different video.